Glimpse getting a late goal. Benfica also, after that win over Ajax, they followed up with a 2-0 win over Napoli. Yes, it was Mourinho against Antonio Conte, two former Chelsea managers, of course, but headed in favor of the Portuguese. 2-0 for Benfica up against Napoli. Richard Rios giving a fantastic performance in that one, also with Leandro Barreiro. Club Brugge lost 3-0 to the leaders Arsenal. We'll be talking about Arsenal in a minute. It was a fantastic win. Noni Madueke getting a brace, and Gabriel Martinelli also scoring the goal for Arsenal up against the Club Brugge right there in Belgium. Club Brugge, one of the exciting sides in the Champions League this season, drew with Barcelona, but unfortunately couldn't negotiate a win or even a draw up against the Gunners Arsenal. Juventus, yes, the old lady, of course, in Turin, getting a 2-0 win over Pafos, who have David Luiz, former Chelsea and Arsenal player, in their ranks. 2-0 ended in favor of Juventus, the Italian side. And Leverkusen, also getting a late goal against Newcastle. 2-2 it finished in Germany. Yes, Alex Grimaldo getting that equalizer for Newcastle right there for Leverkusen, up against Newcastle in Germany. Newcastle were leading at some point, but Leverkusen came back. And Real Madrid, the biggest game of last night for me, it was 2-1 in favor of Manchester City, and it is looking bleak right now for Xabi Alonso. We are still going to talk about that, where my guest comes in. And it was a 2-1 win for Manchester City in Spain. Real Madrid, finally getting Rodrigo in the starting lineup. Yes, and he got the goal. It's like there's something with Rodrigo and Manchester City. He always gets to score, and he scored the goal right there. He scored the opening goal for Real Madrid. Unfortunately, they couldn't follow up. Kylian Mbappe, like I said earlier, missed the game, and Manchester City came back. Erling Haaland and Nico O'Reilly. Of course, we are still going to show you pictures of that later. But let's talk about Arsenal. They are leading the Premier League, although I know it's only with 2 points. Yes, after they lost at the weekend. They bounced back. That's talking about Arsenal. Gabriel Martinelli, getting a goal. I think he's the first player for Arsenal right now. Yes, he is the first player for Arsenal to get a goal in 5 consecutive Champions League games. Back to back. He got the goal for Arsenal. He scored against Bayern Munich, scored against Athletic Bilbao, scored against Olympiacos, scored against Atletico Madrid, and now also scoring up against Club Brugge, Gabriel Martinelli. And it was a fantastic goal for Martinelli for Arsenal, yesterday. Also, Noni Madueke getting a goal for himself as well. 2 goals, Noni Madueke. Fantastic goal from Noni Madueke. Yes, Arsenal. We're talking about Arsenal right now, and they did really well for themselves. And I just want to ask, is it time for you to consider Arsenal as one of the top contenders for the Champions League? Not even the Premier League alone this time. And how do you think it is going to affect Arsenal going forward in the Champions League and even in the Premier League? Because when you are cited on 2 major competitions, they have the squad depth, but of course, if you look at it from the other side, injuries are dealing with Arsenal at this point in time. There was no Declan Rice yesterday, no Gabriel, no William Saliba. They had to make shifts with Christian Norgard, who is originally a defensive midfielder. He played centre-back last night. What is going on with Arsenal and injuries? And do you think these injuries will not affect them going forward? Because they are leading the Champions League at this point in time. In fact, barring any miracle or any wrong results, Arsenal should be qualifying automatically to the round of 16. And there's a lot to discuss about Arsenal. But yes, I won't be doing this show alone. Yes, my guest will be joining me very soon, and we are going to break this all down. And also, I know there are games from match week 6 on Tuesday. Yes, that's talking about Liverpool. Of course, we also ought to discuss about Mohamed Salah. Yes, what's the update with Mohamed Salah at this point in time? Is this going to be a Liverpool player at the end of Afcon? Because it's looking like a strained relationship between Mohamed Salah and his coach and Slot at Liverpool. But yes, I'm still talking about Arsenal, and also Mikel Arteta has also come out to say that his players, need some rest. Yes, but they have been playing a lot of games. I think it showed in that game against Aston Villa in the Premier League. They've been playing a lot of games, but in the Champions League, they're still doing well for themselves. Noni Madueke has 3 Champions League goals in 2 games. Wow, he scored against Bayern Munich and followed up with 2 goals against Club Brugge. All around, I mean, the players that they brought in for their, their first-team centre-back pairing. That's talking about William Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes. They brought in a certain pairing, Nkapie, Christian Mosquera as well from Valencia, but Mosquera is injured. But Nkapie has been doing very, very well. Almost got to go last night. And Christian Norgard, like I mentioned, also did really well. David Raya also did really well. Gabriel Martinelli up front. Maybe the issue right now is with Victor Gyökeres, who didn't get a goal for himself, didn't even have a lot of touches, but his replacement, Gabriel Jesus, the returning Gabriel Jesus, got a lot of touches, almost scored a goal for himself as well. This just shows the level of depth that is in that Arsenal squad at this point in time, because they are doing really well. For Gabriel Jesus to even come back, Kai Havertz is also still out, but he will be returning very soon. You look at their midfield, Ebere Eze is there, Martin Odegaard is there, Martin Zubimendi is there, Christian Norgard, Declan Rice. Bukayo Saka came on. He did start that game. It was Noni Madueke that started it. And, now he's pushing. I know Bukayo Saka is still the main man for Arsenal at this point, but Noni Madueke is still pushing really hard for a place, in the starting 11. So I think good one for Arsenal right now. And I know that they might go far in the Champions League, but injuries, can really be affecting them at this point in time. And let's go to other results. Yes, we mentioned Manchester City up against Real Madrid. We saw Erling Haaland, of course. Yes, that's the Norwegian king right there, Erling Haaland, doing really well. He got a penalty. He scored. I think that was his 150th Champions League start, or his 50th start for Manchester City in the Champions League, or his 50th general start in the Champions League, and he got his 54th goal. What a player for Erling Haaland is. He got a penalty, scoring from the penalty spot. Nico O'Reilly as well was the man of the match. He did really well for himself as well, the left back, and he got a goal, and also was worrying Real Madrid's right back throughout the whole game. Real Madrid as well. I also want to ask the viewers at this point in time, is it time for Xabi Alonso to just leave the club? Because at some point he went on his knees, and a friend of mine, Camp Shorty, that said maybe he wants to go back to Leverkusen, because Leverkusen are doing good for themselves at this point, while it's not looking good for Real Madrid, even though they are getting the results. But it's beginning to look like without a certain Kylian Mbappe, they can't really get the results. It was so obvious that Mbappe was not in that game yesterday. The man who came in to replace him to get a start, that's talking about Gonzalo Garcia, didn't really even do well at all. He hardly got a touch on the ball. Rodrigo and Vinicius Jr. also couldn't really step up, even though Rodrigo got a goal. But then Real Madrid, there's a lot of questions and answers at this point in time. Jude Bellingham as well, there's a limit to what he can do when it's not going good for those in front of him. How will he be able to, provide with his own assist as well? Real Madrid, I think Florentino Perez, when you could notice his body language last night from that game. Maybe time is up for Xabi Alonso. And if you know Real Madrid very well, they can be very, very ruthless. Let's look at the table in the Champions League right now, because Arsenal, like I said, they are still topping, and it looks like they will be the ones to actually qualify. Yes, first in all the teams right there in the Champions League. They should be the first to qualify for the knockout stages. We still have the likes of Inter Milan. We still have the likes of Paris Saint-Germain, Manchester City. Yes, this is the table right here on your screen. Bayern Munich, Paris Saint-Germain are in third place. Manchester City, yes, with that important win, also in fourth. Atalanta also doing well for themselves. They got a win over Chelsea. The likes of Charles de Ketelaere and Ademola Lookman are doing well for that side right there, the Italian side. And Rafael Palladino, who has been fantastic since he joined the club. Real Madrid, of course, are still in 12th, still in 7th with 12 points. And Atletico Madrid, also their rivals in Spain, following them. They have the same number of points, 12 as well. Liverpool, we can mention Liverpool right now. Liverpool also having 12 points with a goals difference of +3. With the way their season is going so far, they've not really been bad in the Champions League. 12 points from 6 games. They lost two games, and they got wins over Real Madrid. They got important wins over Frankfurt as well, but they lost to the likes of Galatasaray, yes, Victor Osimhen, yes, getting that goal, if you remember very, very well. But Borussia Dortmund are following Liverpool. They are in 10th place. Now I'm into the, those that will play the knockout playoff stage. Yes, those that will play the knockout playoff stage if it ends this way. So Liverpool, yes, are there in 9th place. Dortmund, Tottenham, Newcastle, Chelsea. I mean, look at the Premier League teams, Tottenham, Newcastle, and Chelsea following each other from 11th to 13th place. It can change very soon because there are still 2 games more to play to wrap up the league phase. Sporting CP are also there. Barcelona, I think that's an unfamiliar position. 15th place is unfamiliar for Barcelona at this point. But of course, they will bounce back. Trust them. Marseille, yes, Aubameyang has been fantastic. 2 goals and 3 assists in the Champions League this season for the 36-year-old. Fantastic player, the former Barcelona man, the former Arsenal man, former Chelsea man, doing well for himself right there at OM Olympique Marseille. Mason Greenwood also, yes, Kizike spoke about him yesterday as well, Olympique Marseille, when he was talking about, the games from Tuesday. Galatasaray, yes, Juventus are also there, Monaco, Leverkusen, PSV, Qarabağ, Napoli, and Copenhagen. And those that will be eliminated should it stay like this. Benfica, even though they got a win, they are staring at elimination in the eye. Pafos, Union Saint-Gilloise, Athletic Club was been really, really poor at the start of this Champions League. Olympiacos, Frankfurt, Club Brugge, Bodo Glimt, Slavia Prague, Ajax, Villarreal, and Kairat Almaty. Kairat Almaty, well, it's their debut in the Champions League, but they've only got 1 point, and they are traveling to the Emirates Stadium for their next game. Arsenal wants to use that one to wrap up. And trust me, I don't think Arsenal will want to, lose that game. But Kairat Almaty, kudos to them. They've been fantastic also in the Champions League, even though they've only got 1 point. But their goalkeeper, I'm sure, a bigger team, much respect to Kairat Almaty, a bigger team is going to come for their goalkeeper very, very soon. It's been fantastic in each game they've played, including that game against Pafos where he stopped the penalty. Good one for that man right there in Kairat Almaty of Kazakhstan. Good one generally in the Champions League, but we'll be talking about the Europa League very, very soon when we come back from this short break. Also, we'll be touching on the Women's Champions League results and also the Conference League. It's Sports Republic. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Do you want your voice to be heard? Do you know that you matter in the scheme of things? The People's Voice, the show where ordinary citizens take center stage as we discuss the biggest stories that affect you and I. With you in mind, we facilitate lively discussions, debates, and interviews on the topics that matter most to you and I, from social justice to economic empowerment, education to healthcare, governance, and more, tackling tough topics and amplifying your voice. Join the conversation and make your voice count. The People's Voice. Make your voice count. In a world where truth is the ultimate power and opinions scream the loudest, it's time to wade through the noise.
Hunger no get tribe! Hunger no get religion!
And scan the human interest and trending topics that matter. Stay tuned to The Issues, your plug to the stories making the buzz, from politics to science and technology, social justice, and more. Let's tackle the tough questions and expose the truth. The Issues on Voice of the People Television. Don't just react, understand.
Good evening, Africa. My name is Bamak Bore, actor, model, producer, and I'm giving a big shout out to VOP TV, man. Keep watching. Don't change the dial, and thank you, and God bless you.
My name is AY, and of course, I represent the voice of the people, and that's why I'm on VOP. AY say so?
Hi everyone, it's your girl Miriam Tima from The Real Housewives of Lagos and The Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip Africa. Shout out to VOP, the voice of the people. You already know. Stay tuned, keep watching. And don't forget, VOP is the best.
Yeah, it is still Voice of the People TV, and it is still Sports Republic, of course, and we are back, and yes, we are going through the UEFA Women's Champions League results. Yes, that also happened. You know, when we talk about the Men's Champions League, let's also celebrate the women. Yes, this is how the table stands. Barca Femeni, yes, Barcelona Femeni, yes, they are right there, leading right there, and Lyon following them as well. 13 points, the same goals, but Barcelona with a goals difference of positive 15. Goal scoring machines, you want to call the women. Chelsea as well, positive 16 as well, but with 11 points. Juventus with 10, also in 4th place. And those teams, as it stands, will be playing in the quarterfinals. But we still have a playoff, places up for grabs. Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Wolfsburg, the defending champions, Arsenal, who defeated the Barcelona, yes, the Barca Femeni last season. They are in 8th place. Of course, they should be, qualifying for the playoffs. Manchester United are also there. Good one for Manchester United as well in the Champions League. Paris FC, who used to have our own Chiamaka Unadozie, yes, they are right there in 10th place. Atletico Madrid, the women, of course, are in 11th. Louvain of Belgium in 12th. Valerenga, yes, of Norway in 13th. Twente of Netherlands are in 14th. Benfica of Portugal in 15th. Paris Saint-Germain, you know them. The men are doing well for themselves, the defending champions of the Champions League. But the females, they can do better than in 16th place. Roma, yes, who suffered the 6-0 defeat to Chelsea women in 17th. And St. Paulton in 18th place. Let's give you the results from the Champions League. I was talking about Barca Femeni. Yes, they won their game. Yes, against was that not Louvain? They won their game and they did really well for themselves. And also Arsenal defeating 20. Look at that. Oh, they won their Benfica. Pardon me for that one. Pajot getting the goal. Uchebe with an own goal and Alexandri with a goal. Davidson scored for Benfica and a good one for Barca Femeni. And let's look at the results right there. Look at that. Yes, it was Valerenga up against Paris. Yes, they lost to Paris FC, and also Barcelona getting a win, like I mentioned, against Benfica. Lyon defeating Manchester United, away from home, right there in England. Chawinga getting goal, and also Dumonai getting 2 goals, including one in the 98th minute. Atletico Madrid 2-2 against Bayern Munich female. And Penil Ada getting 2 goals for Bayern. It was a good one right there for the German, and also for, Penil Ada, yes, who used to be the female Ballon d'Or winner, or FIFA the best winner for female. She was a fantastic player. She's still a fantastic player, Penil Ada. And Chelsea up against Roma. Yes, 6-0 I mentioned. Look at the goal scorers right there. Lucy Bronze, Amano, Nusken, Kanerit, captain, and Beggar Maski. Yes, my guest is in with me. I know I've been keeping him waiting for too long. Bolariwa David, let me say good morning to you, and also let's talk about the Champions League. Real Madrid losing to Manchester City. Is it time for Xabi Alonso to go? And what do you think about the future of Rodrigo? Because he came into that game, a rare start for him, and he got a goal. But unfortunately, it looks like they can't really pull off something without Kylian Mbappe. And also, Arsenal, is it right for us to call them genuine Champions League contenders and even Premier League contenders this season? Good morning and welcome to the show, David.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure having me on the show again, and thank you very much for having me. Let's dive right in. The Champions League, it was electrifying yesterday, saying Manchester City again at the Santiago Bernabeu beating, even on that closed roof, Real Madrid in their own. Just like you mentioned, Rodrigo coming in, got the goal, but the team doesn't seem so fine without Kylian Mbappe, and it played out yesterday. We saw Nico O'Reilly and Haaland himself doing well for himself again, scoring the goal, and it just puts the dent on Real Madrid again. The buzz around this could be the Man City game could be his last game if he doesn't get the 3 points and all of those things. So there's trouble and there's fire on the mountain for Real Madrid and Xabi Alonso. At this time, there's enough fire on the mountain. We just hope, there's not been any official news from them. We don't know what Papa Perez is planning or cooking for Xabi Alonso. what he's planning for Xabi Alonso at the moment. But I just think Barcelona, the top guns, Barcelona, Real Madrid, Manchester City, Liverpool, those jobs are kind of the hardest you can give any coach. Alonso wasn't bad in Bayer Leverkusen. I mean, we saw how he did with Bayer Leverkusen in his last stint. But giving him Real Madrid, it's a big one. It's a big one, and they need time. Look at coaches need time to settle in. Look at Jurgen Klopp. He had his time in Liverpool, and there was a time when he wasn't doing so well. But I mean, he won trophies for them. Last season, we saw how bad Pep Guardiola was for Manchester City. It was so horrible. He could have gotten sacked. But then, coaches need time, especially in top clubs like Real Madrid, Barcelona, Manchester City.
But David, we all know that Real Madrid, they are not a team that that gives time. I mean, I remember when they appointed Solari that time. After he lost 5-0 to Barcelona, he was fired. I think when it comes to Real Madrid, no matter who you are, it is results business, even if you are a legend of the club. I mean, this is the Xabi Alonso that did fantastically well with Leverkusen, getting to an invisible season. So he has already set that standard for himself, right? And he's bringing that CV to La Liga. And they expect, first thing about Real Madrid in the season for me, I think it's about stopping Barcelona. That rivalry is still there. It is eternal rivalry. Yes. They want to stop Barcelona. And also in the Champions League, which is their birthright. They are not doing well in La Liga. Kylian Mbappe looks like the alpha or omega of the team. When he's not there, as seen yesterday, they seem like they can't perform. And I think it's that time for Xabi to just, wrap it up.
Yeah, it will be that for every football fan, especially Real Madrid fans saying, their boys are not playing as they ought to, and the team is not gelling upright. You hear news of not being able to coordinate the dressing room. The players are not really giving their best. Mbappe is the one leading the charge, and we saw it yesterday also. He was not in the team. He didn't play, and they could not. They could not win decisively. They lost to Manchester City. So at the time, you could only say probably Alonso should step down and someone else take up the mantle for Real Madrid. Because, I mean, losing in your first season 4 or 5 times to Barcelona, your arch rivals, All
right. So quickly, let me just quickly ask you, as we move on the show. Arsenal, yes or no, are they genuine title contenders of the Champions League right now?
Yes, they are. For now.
And don't you think injuries might derail their season?
They've got a lot of depth in that squad, and you see Declan Rice was not there yesterday. You have the likes of Saliba who was not. So they've got depth in that team, and kudos to them last season. And in the transfer window, they did well for themselves going into the transfer season with enough business mind. They went for players that could sustain it. Look at Madueke. Saka did not start, and Madueke got there. He did the job for them. Yes, Madueke might not be a player you would want to rest on for all of the season, right? But whenever he's called upon, I mean, yesterday in the Champions League,
2 goals,
getting a brace for himself, he is definitely a replacement for Saka.
Of course.
So, as of now, I mean, they've gone 5 games now, and they've won all 5.
6 games and they've won all.
6 games, I mean. They've gone 6 games and they won all 6. So, I mean, getting maximum points in your last 6 games in Champions League, you should be a contender.
Of course, you should be a contender. So let's quickly take you through the Europa League. Of course, we've discussed, the top tier of European football, European club football. Let's talk about the Europa League. Let's quickly give you the fixtures, as we run on the show. Ferencváros against the Rangers. Dinamo Zagreb up against Real Betis. I think that should be a one-way. It should be going to Spain. Ludogorets up against PAOK. Of course, we have that one there. Midtjylland against Genk. Let's look at Nice against Braga. Celtic against Roma. promises to be fantastic. And Basel also up against Aston Villa. Aston Villa, you know, after that win against Arsenal, I think it should give them a spring in their steps as they take on Basel. They travel to Switzerland and they go on to meet Xherdan Shaqiri. Porto will be taking on Malmo as well. Panathinaikos up against Victoria Pleasant. Lyon against Go Ahead Eagles. I think Lyon will go ahead and beat the Eagles. Freiburg up against Salzburg is going to be interesting as well. Salzburg, they play good football. And Steaua Bucuresti up against Feyenoord, and Celta Vigo up against Bologna. Let's look at the Conference League. I mean, the third tier right now, the Conference League as well. Let's quickly look at the fixtures. Of course, you know, yes, we have them on your screen right there. Bridbalik up against Shamrock Rovers. I mean, when you call the names of this club, right, David, there's this tongue twister you'll be having. Of course, you know how it goes in the Conference League. Drita up against the AZ Alkmaar. Fiorentina against the Dynamo Kiev. That one's still good. Aachen up against the AEK Larnaca. Jagiellonia up against Rayo Vallecano. Noah FC. I don't know if the ARC will be enough to take the goals that Legia Warsaw will be giving them. Samsunspor up against AEK Athens. Samsunspor are actually the ones leading at this point. You know, they haven't conceded in the Europa League so far. Skendija up against Bratislava Slovan. Union Craiova up against Sparta Prague. I mean, my tongue is really going through a phase right now. Rijeka up against Celje. Shelbourne up against Crystal Palace. Finally, Crystal Palace should be getting a win right there up against Shelbourne. And SK Rapid up against Omonia. Let's move on to the Super Eagles right now. I mean, David, I think it is time for Victor to drop that squad today to risk a fine, right? You don't want us facing a fine right now with all these payment irregularities coming from the NFF and all of that. That list should be coming out today. The final list, we've been waiting long and long. Other teams have dropped their list. So the Super Eagles, we should be seeing the final 28-man squad. There are injuries that are piling up. I mean, there is a lot going on, and you know, he's set to announce his final squad. I mean, but there are injuries to key players, the likes of Stanley Wabali, the likes of Ola Aina, Felix Agu. There are doubts for this Afcon. Benjamin Fredericks is already out. William Troost-Ekong is retiring. This was the 54-man list or 55-man list when William Troost-Ekong was still there. Now, focusing on this list, David, who are the players that you expect to make the final 28-man squad? We already know those that won't be going, the likes of Fredericks, who is injured, and also Moses Simon, who might actually miss the group stages, and also William Troost-Ekong, who is retired. Who are the players that you think will negotiate? And do you think we'll be seeing any players from the NPFL?
Right. Yeah. Thank you. I think we should get players from the NPFL. You know, Amos is there. We should see Amos. You know, coming in as a second choice goalkeeper.
Okay, David, who do you think should be the first? Who do you think should be the first choice? Who do you think should be the first choice, David?
Our first choice goalkeeper. I mean, he should not change. He should still be Stanley Wabali.
That's if he's fit. That's if he's fit, because it's looking like his coach has come out to say he's going to be out for a long time.
He's looking, yes. Yeah. So I think if Wabali is not around, then I just think Maduka Okoye has deserved to take up the mantle. He's been consistent. We saw he's been doing well for his team in Serie A, and he's been building his confidence back ever since the last one. And I just think he should get the trial now and lead the team from behind. And it should just be one for the books for Maduka Okoye. But
how about other places in the team?
Inside MPFL teams, we should. I think Eric Chell is someone who wants to build with the MPFL team. So we've been seeing. You said.
Yeah. Okay. David, I was asking about other places in the team. You know, maybe the midfield and also the attack. There is a certain Victor Boniface. Do you want to see Victor Boniface play for the Super Eagles at the Afcon?
Honestly, I do want to see him play at the Afcon, but he has not had a great stint with the Nigerian Nigerian team. I mean, whenever he comes on to play, sometimes he either doesn't get the goal or sometimes just get injured. And injuries has been a part of Victor Boniface for a very long time now, and we saw, we saw the video. I think we all saw the video yesterday while he was congratulating his friend, that's Felix Agu, on prospectively getting the call-up. We don't have any official news about that for the moment, but I think I really want to see Victor Boniface in the team. I think he really deserves. He's been doing well.
Yeah, I think a lot of Nigerians also, will want to see him, even though, for me, you said he's been doing well, but I think maybe his club side form has not really been that great. But then, also when he has been called up for Super Eagles, I think he's played 13 games and he hasn't gotten any goal. Maybe he can just be there, to complement a certain Victor Osimhen. But the likes of Akko Adams, Paul Onuachu, I think Paul Onuachu should also make it based on his club form. And also midfield, we don't have any problem in the midfield. The likes of Akisomiro should be called up for me. Fisayo Dele Bashiru, Wilfred Ndidi as well. The usual suspects, Alex Iwobi, Raphael Oyedika, and also Frank Onyeka. But we mentioned players from the NPFL. But going straight now to the NPFL now, they've announced that, the NPFL board has announced that the 2025-26 season will not be affected by the Afcon. There won't be breaks for the Afcon. But, players and coaches and maybe fans, they've come out to give, different opinions. Some players said, in 2018, when there was a break, the league ended. They cited an example, the league ended abruptly. Some are also saying that, it can also be an opportunity, for us to rest and, let's just enjoy the Super Eagles. When we have a Nigerian team at the Afcon, Super Eagles of Nigeria, the ultimate national football team in Nigeria, when we are having them participate at the Afcon, why can't we use this opportunity to rest? David, where do you stand on this one quickly? Do you think there should be a break, from the NPFL, while the Afcon is going on? Or, since we don't have players, we might not even have players from the NPFL at all. Even if you're going to have maybe like one or two, eventually in the final 28-man squad. Don't you think the league should go on?
Yes, I do. I think the league should go on. None of either of both competitions should stop because of either one. Like you rightly mentioned, we might not even be seeing up to 5 players from the NPFL in the 28-man squad. So why would you want to halt an ongoing competition for less than 5 players? Yes, we all want to watch the Super Eagles at the Afcon, but we can also do that. Majority of the games are being played late in the evening, 4 or 5, sometimes in the night. So, and our NPFL games starts by 4. So, even if you want to enjoy the game, you can definitely enjoy the game. And this competition is less than a month. You still have the NPFL going on till mid next year. So, I don't think the NPFL should stop because of
it's not even NPFL.
Other leagues in the world continue.
So why should the NPFL stop? This is even an NPFL that a lot of Nigerians are actually enjoying the trajectory this season. Nasarawa United, look at the form they are carrying at the moment. The Oga Boys, Ikorodu City. When you give them that long break, they won't be looking at the Super Eagles just like every other Nigerian. So, it can lead to a drop in their season. So, why not let the good form continue for them? For me, I think I'll also stand with you on this one, David. I don't think the NPFL should stop for any reason. But, David, quickly, before we move on, there's something funny I noticed about the NPFL and I've wanted to discuss with you and also all the guests that bring on the show. But I don't know why I keep skipping my mind. But right now, I will tell you, there's this case of, different league balls used at the NPFL. We just see different soccer balls coming every time. Don't you think the NPFL should have one league ball for the season? We should have of course different prototypes, but at least what I'm saying, one ball design. Not seeing different balls. Sometimes we see the balls used in the World Cup, in the Premier League, all being used at the NPFL. If we want to really get this development we crave for for the NPFL and in Nigerian football generally, don't you think steps like this should be taken quickly?
Right. It all boils down to organization and it all boils down to the commitment and the seriousness of the body organizing these competitions. In other competitions of the world, even lesser competitions, they have the authorized football distance for each season, each calendar year. Look at the Premier League. Yeah, we those are established leagues already. But if we want to compete, if we want to say we are pushing the MPFL to compete with global standards, these are the things we should take into consideration. You can't be having a prototype from 2010 World Cup or a prototype from 2011 Champions League football. And you are not even promoting your own. It's the Nigerian Professional Football League. But we are using, even if we can get brands to help us with these things. Brands sponsor the football kits and all of these things. So why can't we get brands to make this for us?
We need it, at this point in time. And David, I really want to say thank you for joining me on the show today. And of course, I know that we didn't really get to connect real quickly, but then anytime we do, I'm sure, you give me a lot of inspiration on this show, to be honest. And I want to say thank you for your input. But yes, we'll be wrapping up very soon on the show today. But let's quickly give you other sports news from the tennis world this time around, where Aryna Sabalenka, yes, the world's top-ranked women's tennis player, is set to face a certain Nick Kyrgios, of course, in a highly anticipated Battle of the Sexes exhibition match on December 28th in Dubai. And also, Sabalenka, a four-time major champion, has expressed confidence that the event won't harm women's sports, stating, "I don't agree. I'm not putting myself at risk. We are there to have fun and bring great tennis." And the match, held at Dubai's Coca-Cola Arena, aims to attract a new audience to tennis with promises of entertainment and celebrity fans courtside. Sabalenka believes the event will help grow women's tennis, saying this event is only going to bring women's tennis to a higher level. And for me, I think this time around, personally, Kyrgios has not played a lot of tennis. I think he's about maybe 200 and something in the world right now, while Aryna Sabalenka is women's number one. Maybe if it was a competition between Sabalenka and Yannick Sinner or a certain Carlos Alcaraz, I would want to watch, because I think that's going to draw more attention. But this one, we've seen it in a long time. Billie Jean King, I think, played that one also with a certain male player. This time around, maybe just for the fun of it, let's see. But a lot of women have also come out, to complain, saying that it might harm women's sports. It's not doing well for the WTA. But Sabalenka herself has come out to say, hey, she will do this and it's not going to harm women's sports. And personally, I think she's going to get the better of Nick Kyrgios, because if you watch Sabalenka play, I think even the men right now will be thinking twice to go up against her. Let's move on to the NBA. Yes, basketball stories quickly before we wrap up on the show, where the Oklahoma City Thunder, yes, these guys are playing fantastic basketball right now, and they have equaled the best 25-game start to a season in NBA history, winning 24 of their first 25 games, and they achieved this feat by defeating the Phoenix Suns 138-89. That's a lot, in the NBA Cup quarterfinals. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, a name that has become synonymous with me on this show. I'm always calling him when I'm talking about basketball. Fantastic player, going for the MVP again this season. He is the team's star player, and he scored 28 points and has been averaging 32.8 points per game this season. And the Thunder's 16-game winning streak is a franchise record, and they are looking strong heading into the semifinals up against the San Antonio Spurs. And winning is never boring. Their forward Jalen Williams said the team's overall performance has been impressive, with 92 wins in 107 regular season games since the start of 2024-25. And the NBA Cup is an annual in-season tournament with all matches except the final counting towards the regular season standings. For me, the Golden State Warriors, yes, they have the record for the most wins in the NBA season with 73. I think with the way the OKC are going, I think they might just level up and equal that record. Well, this is where we'll be wrapping up on the show today. I want to say a big thank you to David Bolanwa for joining me. Yes, as we discuss all the juiciest sports stories. And the media news is coming up right here on Voice of the People TV. Yes, please stay tuned for that one. And yes, this is the Sports Republic. And I am Afiz Ogubanjo, and I'm signing out, and I'm saying have a wonderful day. Bye for now.
VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice.
we encourage you to click on the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are Voice of the People TV. Also follow us on all our social media platforms. We are at VOP TV Live. Visit our website www.vop.ng for fresh and trending news. Also watch us live on SLTV channel 264. VOP TV, Voice of the People Television.
This is Health Check, your weekly guide to better living, smarter choices, and trusted answers. From everyday wellness to urgent health issues, we've got you covered. Health Check, only on Voice of the People Television, where your health has a voice.
The 2564 is coming up on Burning 9, right?
The 2564 Atlantic Tower.
What happens in the hush behind hangar doors? Who signs the papers that gamble with lives? Which truths were grounded before they even ever had wings? If you've ever buckled a seatbelt at 30,000 feet, if you've ever stared out of that tiny window and wondered who's really in control of the skies, it isn't just flight, it's power, it's politics, it's pressure sealed in steel. We're peeling back the clouds from runway risks to sky-high secrets. We're diving deep where most dare not to look. Aviation Scope, every Sunday at 7 p.m. only on Voice of the People TV. We don't just report, we reveal. We don't just ask, we uncover. Because when it comes to the skies, ignorance is turbulence. Aviation Scope, the sky isn't the limit, it's just the beginning.
Are you ready for the extraordinary? Something big is happening on your screen. Introducing VOP TV. Now streaming on SLTV channel 264. From breaking news to captivating conversations, news analysis, giving you all sides to the story. We bring in-depth discussions on the issues that matter, from politics to sports, entertainment, and lifestyle. VOP TV on SLTV channel 264. Join us as we redefine what television means to you. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice.
Welcome to the locker room, the home of football talk that matters. I am Jerry Ampelon. Join us every weekday, Monday to Friday at 5 p.m. Nigerian time, as we share the hot takes and hot debates in the exciting world of football. And joining me are the usual suspects, Ikechukwu and Mayowa, as we break down all the hot takes and everything that's happening in the football. Don't just watch football, live it with us. Catch us on the locker room and Voice of the People Television at 5 p.m. Nigerian time. And like I always say, if not going to the talk, please discuss.
To know the happenings in the maritime sector, join us on the program Maritime Frontiers on VOP TV as we discuss key areas in the maritime sector, from aquaculture, maritime transportation, maritime labor regulation, oil and gas exploration, ferry and passenger insurance, marine pollution and prevention, port operations, and lots more. Maritime Frontiers, exploring Nigeria's blue economy. Join us as we drive into the world of politics through insightful interviews with prominent political figures, both serving and former governors, ministers, senators, legislators, party chieftains, activists, and analysts. Get first-hand information into the decision-making processes that affect our daily lives. Highly engaging one-hour program that brings political discourse into focus